Hey you guys, Missy Crocker here with Restored Rocks. Coming at you to share a little wisdom that I don't necessarily share all that often here on the Restored Rocks page because it has to do with my love of essential oils. And I respect all of you here, so I don't fill your feed with things that you don't expect. But if you get to know me, you'll get to know my love of essential oils anyway. And so there's probably no better perfect time than to bust out some things that I have learned over the past years and how easy it is to implement it into your life, especially in situations like this. So a little disclaimer, I'm not going to use any fancy language that says that this is the one and only, this is going to keep you safe for the rest of your life. You know, we have to be understanding that all our bodies are different, all situations are different, and there are some cases where we can't affirmatively say that this is the one all and be all, right? But what I can say is that what I'm about to show you will help you get through these times, will help support your body in these times, will help you feel like you have more tools in these times. And when you have more tools, you have more confidence. When you have more confidence, you have less stress. When you have less stress, your body's immune system has the ability to remain higher than if you were under an immense amount of stress. Does that make sense, right? So yes, we are talking about in the physical form, practicality of what I'm about to show you, but we also want to talk about the fact that if it provides you a peace of mind, if you're having to get out into the public and you're having to be around large groups and things like that, it will give you the peace of mind that you just have one more layer of protection when you're out there, and that helps your body fight alone. Okay, so I'm going to share with you a base recipe, and this base recipe you can spread out into different uses in your life. So first and foremost, this recipe could be used for a hand sanitizer. So if you're going out, you're going to the gas station, you got to get gas. How many people have used that gas handle? A lot. You know, spray your hands down. It's okay. If you have to go into a public bathroom, yes, wash your hands. They say washing your hands is probably the highest, most effective thing that we can do right now. Wash your hands for 20 seconds. But if you want an added layer of protection, throw on your hand sanitizer. If you're going to be in large groups, if somebody came and shook your hand and you're like, oh, he shook my hand. You know, we live in the South, in the country, and people shake hands all the time, and it's kind of rude to pull your hand away, but I have my hand sanitizer, so it's okay. Shake the hands, build the connection, and then use your hand sanitizer. Now, if you can avoid it at all costs, try to avoid that. So anywhere you may be, if your kids are having to go to school, mine are at this point, douse them up with hand sanitizer before they go. And when they come back, teach them how to use it before lunch and after lunch. When they're doing those activities of putting their fingers into their mouth, make this a staple in your home all the time, not just now. We do this all the time. And you will have an added layer of protection, and your confidence will be boosted so your body can do the things that it needs to do. Again, disclaimer, I am not saying this is the end all be all of protection against everything that's going on right now. It's just a little tool in your tool belt. Okay, so let me show you how easy it is. So the ingredients that you need is the most highest proof of rubbing alcohol that you can get. I think it's 99.9, but if you go to the stores right now, you're limited on resources. So I would just say don't panic about getting the 99.9. Get it if they have it, but if they have lower percentages, that's okay. Get the highest you can get. Here in Mason, Texas, all I was able to get was 50%, and that's okay. I'm not gonna freak out about it being perfect, although I would like it to be, but we have to learn to adapt to the time. Sorry about that. I got a phone call, but now I put the do not disturb sign on so we can get through this. So our job is to adapt. So anything that I show you here, if you don't have it or you don't have access to it, get the next best things. Adapt. Okay. So we need rubbing alcohol. Another thing you can use in lieu of rubbing alcohol is Everclear. We only had regular vodka at the house, and we looked at the proof. I believe it was like 40 proof. They're wanting you to have Everclear, which is 190 proof. So again, if you don't have Everclear and all you have is the 40 proof vodka, get the highest that you can for this recipe. And then the main thing that we have to have is our OnGuard essential oil. Now, OnGuard is something that we've been using in our lives for many years. Yes, our kids fall ill from time to time, but it's just the nature of the beast. But it is one of the things that has been able to help us stay as healthy as possible, especially in times of need. I would say this is a time of need. Bring me the OnGuard. Especially if you've been to the big box stores and you can't get your hands on the things that you need to help add that layer of protection to your body, right? I've been a couple times to the grocery stores just to stock up on a couple staples to make sure we're not the ones that are left with nothing if everything shuts down. But that I feel okay. Like my confidence is okay because I know I have something at home that can substitute for the convenience products that are out in the big box stores. Think about that word, convenience product. Those are convenience products. That means we can replicate those products if we are okay giving up a little bit of our convenience, okay? So here's how we're gonna give up a little bit of our convenience so we can have access to the things that we want that we may not be able to get right now. Okay, so you need your alcohol, you need your OnGuard, you need just regular distilled water. I just got a pitcher as my mixing bowl because it's got the spout, and so I can easily pour it into the things that I want to pour it into. One of the things that I'm going to pour it into are my spray bottles, right? I have old spray bottles from doTERRA that I'm going to be refilling because they're super convenient and I like to recycle stuff. But if you do not have access to those types of things, you can simply just use regular old spray bottles. Totally fine, either way. In fact, I'm gonna fill up one of these for sure, and I'm gonna fill up my ones that are empty right here. And then another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a big spray bottle. This is for surfaces. You can spray your car, you can start cleaning your countertops, clean your cell phones, which are disgusting. You can do all sorts of stuff with this. Now, I like to extend this recipe and use it as a grease cutting cleansing agent. So if you're really doing some deep cleaning and you need a little suds or you need something to cut the grease, we add one more ingredient, and we can use this as not only a disinfectant spray but also a cleansing spray on all our surfaces that might be yucky. And then I forgot to mention in the hand sanitizer, I do like to add a drop of like a fractionated coconut oil, an olive oil. In my case, I have access to this beautiful oil blend called Yarrow Palm, which is highly hydrating to the skin, which, you know, if you're gonna use a lot of hand sanitizer, your hands are gonna dry out, especially since we're amping up on the alcohol side of it. So something to create a good barrier for your hands is great. Here's another tip. Now, when the mist from your hand sanitizer is encapsulated by a barrier, let's say, you know, a carrier oil of some sort, when you spray from that bottle to your skin, it provides the vehicle to have less evaporation. Makes sense, right? So there's a bonus when you add a little bit of fatty structure to your hand sanitizers to make sure you're getting the maximum amount onto the surface. And then the absorption rate can increase if you have a good carrier due to the molecular structure. So 3 recipes, basic ingredients, and then I'll tell you how to get this one here at the very end. Now, know my heart, please. I am not trying to capitalize on hysteria whatsoever. I don't care. I don't care about capitalizing on hysteria. I do not feed off of personal gain in times of crisis. I don't. But I've been getting so many messages on, Missy, how do you do this? How do you do this? How I don't have access to this. You know, so I'm just giving you access. If you choose to have that access, that's totally fine. If you don't, that's totally fine too. Now, a lot of you guys out there use different essential oil products. Some companies I can get on board with. I think that their oils are productive. Some companies I cannot. Because essential oils aren't regulated by the FDA. I hate to say it, but if you're getting oils for like 2 pennies, you're going to get 2 pennies worth of effectiveness. I'm not saying the more expensive your oil is, the more effective it is. I'm not saying that because there's skis ball oil companies out there. I'm just saying, like, go with your gut, know what works, do your research. If you want to ask me questions about the proof behind the potion, you can. I will share that with you. But I'm not on here, again, to try to push one particular brand and make you trust in me so I can sell all the things. There are other companies that have products similar to this, and if you have them at home, use them. Use them, okay? All right, so I am going to use 2/3 alcohol, okay? So this is going to be my 2/3, and I'm just going to pour it in my jug. I should have taken the cap off before. Hey, kitty, kitty. My kitty's at the window. Now I'm just going to pour it in there. So this is going to be my 2/3 portion. Again, 99.9% rubbing alcohol is way better. But if you can't get that, then you got to go with what you can get. And again, I'm just making the base because we are going to be kind of extending this recipe into different avenues. Okay, so, and this will be 1/3. I'm not a measurer, I'm just gonna eyeball it. So I'm gonna do about 1/3 of what we had in alcohol. Again, rubbing alcohol or vodka, Everclear is okay. Okay, and then you take your OnGuard product. Essential oils are 50 to 70 times more potent than herbs, right? So you don't necessarily have to use as much. This bottle has approximately 250 drops in it, and we're going to be using 35. So do the math. You can make a ton of product with just this one bottle. And again, we're making 3 products just in this video, and I have more products that we can make in another video. So silence. Okay, so there's our base. Now, here's the cool thing. The alcohol in it actually acts as an emulsifier. So it will help blend the oil to the water so you're not getting much stuff laying on top. Other emulsifiers clearly is the vodka. Salt is a good emulsifier. So there we go. There is our solution. So I'm going to fill first. This is just my disinfectant spray. I don't need anything else in my disinfectant spray. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do after this is I'm going to make a surface cleanser. And what I do to make a surface cleanser is I add 1 drop of Dawn dish soap. And the reason for that is it just adds a little glide, it adds a little suds, it'll help cut down on the grease. Other oils that you can add that'll cut down on grease and smell really nice are things like lemon, wild orange, things like that. Now, the rest of my stuff, for this one, I'm going to make hand sanitizers. It's probably the biggest thing we need right now. So I'm gonna put a couple drops of my Yarrow Palm in there because that's my choice for a barrier for nourishment for my hands after putting on all this alcohol. Again, just use fractionated coconut oil, olive oil, vitamin E oil, whatever kind of oil that you have around town or around your house to add that barrier. Whoops, got a little crazy. Okay, and then you just take your bottle. This video is pretty long, but I feel like I tried to add I really need a funnel. There we go. I tried to add the who, what, when, where, and why. Why? I could show you a recipe, but why? Okay, so then there's my hand sanitizer recipe that I can take with me. Use all your bottles that you have refilled. You can actually even use roller bottles that I will tell you how to do later. But other than that, here is a tool in your tool belt to add added protection, a layer of protection during these times. Can't be too careful, but we also can't freak out. So add some confidence, make your products, and I will post a link down below on the products that I think are going to be the most highly effective during this time. And then that will include your OnGuard. And then as the weeks go by, I will tell you how to use all those products, because now is not the only time that we need to use them. Implementing them into your life over time will be very valuable to you. All right, thanks for joining me. My name is Missy Crocker with Restored Rocks, infusing a little essential oil love today because it's necessary. Holler at me if you have any questions, and look down below to see the customized kit that I recommend during this time currently. All right, love you guys. Stay safe.